and just it's going along, input, in, here it is, all the way over to here, to 2, and then, well, 2 is also included down here, right? So here's 2, and then it keeps going all the way over to 4, although 4 is not included, right? So the domain here is -3 included because there's a solid dot here, right? Over to 4 not included because that's an open dot there. Now if that middle dot was not filled in, I'd also have to remove the point 2 from the domain. All right? What's the range? I heard negative, so you're like, it goes from -1, right, there, and it's output all the way up here to 0, right? So all of these are covered for sure. But hey, wait a minute, what about between 0 and 2? Is there any part of the graph that's between 0 and 2? There's not, right? So between 0 and 2, we shouldn't include those numbers in the range. So what we're going to say is we're going to say -1 included, all the way up to 0 excluded. 0 is excluded because that point has an open circle there, 4, 0. Right? Then the range jumps, just like this graph has a jump in it, right? Over to what's next up here. We're going from 2 all the way up to, yeah, I heard a 4, right? So let's see, 2 excluded, right, to 4 included. And there you go, that's the range. These problems are not hard, but you need to work about 3 of them for yourself without distractions. Make sure you understand it. You just got to keep straight in your mind which is the x, which is the y, and how they're, what the role is, right? Now, final comment for today is about the vertical line test, right? So just to recap, we can define a function by the line graph, by the formula, or even by a given graph, right? Which is now messy because I did all this extra writing on it. Sorry about that. But I could ask you the following question, right? Going back to my example 6 rather, is that the graph of a function? Why? There's 2 points in the line test I'm talking about. No, why is that a problem? Vertical line test, let's talk about it. Says you take a graph that you're given, and if you can draw a vertical line through it, like this, right? And that vertical line intersects the graph in more than one point, right? This one does 2 points here. So if graph intercepts vertical line at 2 or more points, then graph is not graph of a function. This is the vertical line test. So yeah, circles are not graphs of a function. So what that means is we cannot solve for y is equal to a formula in x, just one thing, right? What happens when you try to solve that equation for y, by the way? See this one? If you were to solve it, and you get y minus 3 squared, right? Is 2 minus x plus 2 squared. And then the thing is, when you take the square root of that, what happens? This gives me, taking the square root, I get y is equal to 3 plus or minus the square root of 2 minus x plus 2 squared. Now, I'm getting, this is a, what I'm saying right now is kind of like beyond the section we're in, and perhaps beyond this course. But I just wanted to let you know that you can also see this that this is not the graph of a function by the fact that if you try to solve for y, you can't find just one single output for y. Like the algebra leads you to the plus and of the minus, which corresponds to the fact that you've either got the top half or the bottom half of the circle intersecting the vertical line. So this whole discussion makes for super easy test questions. Here's the final example for today. So here's a graph. And then the question is this the graph of a function? And what do you say? And you say no, because it fails the vertical line test. You're like, please put that on the test. I would like to have those points for free. Yeah. This is almost always a question on the first test in here. So something like it. Hey, guys.